Hi guys, White Witch 110 here. You can see this okay in the dark. Where is it? I got a flower. Went through, cut all the dead stuff off for the clematis. Did the same thing with the daisy. There's some new stuff coming up. And I went underneath the bench again, cleared more stuff out. So the empty milk crate, I put it here in the corner. So that brings up this, I think it's a mint plant, so that it can get more sun than it was. Mind you, some of the leaves are getting a little crispy. And unfortunately, the plants that I took from those bags at Loblaws have croaked. This one lived there. But I'm going to leave it there just in case, because that one did have roots, in case it does come back. You never know. So I like that that's up there. Cool. And of course my garlic. And in here, you can kind of see my little garlic. So that's in here. I may as well turn this on. There we go. There we go. And I'll turn this one on. There we go. There, so you can see. I don't know, maybe I should have one on the other side too. Let me put this on this side and him here. I think that's okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay. And I put a blanket out here, as above, so below. It's my pillow. The other pillow, this is supposed to be an outside pillow anyways. And then we've got the Toronto Maple Leaf one covering the folding chairs, because we had the boys here yesterday. So it's easier to leave two of them here. But they will have plastic on them later. And then he has the electric blanket covering some pieces of cardboard he had here. There we go. The moon is almost full. It is like a summer evening here once again. Take it while we can get it, that's for sure. That's for sure. Some Christmas pillows that we don't need inside right now. There was a web here with a spider on it last night. Yeah. Oh. So we're going to continue with the story. There's the little fairy house. Isn't it cute? It's hard because it should be facing out because of the what do you call it? The solar panel on it. I have to have it facing into the apartment. Strange, I know. Yeah, we're already at 3:54. Okay. I believe it was Waters Deep that we were reading. Whoops. I love having my tablet and using it, but I am finding it's really touchy. Now, I'm not sure where I left off. I'm looking for highlights. I did see one way back there. Okay, I guess that's where I left off. Yep, that's where I left off. Yeah, so now underneath my bench has a bit more room. There's one container I forgot to put back under there. Yes, Tammy, it went down the chute. There's There was all sorts of stuff I wasn't going to use. Caught one of the, I think it was Waverly, chomping on the ribbon that I had on the dowel that hubby had put up on the bench. So he had taken them all off. That was in the morning when we're getting ready to go to work. He took them all off, put them in a bag. I just went to put the towels away from the laundry, opened it up. I seen all the ribbon. I don't do the little bags for the pregnant women because there hasn't been anyone lately that's been pregnant. So, as terrible as it seems, I put them all in the garbage. I would have put them downstairs. We've already been down there today, but would have left them aside to put them down there. But I'm getting a feeling that stuff I've left down there before, 60-40, that the superintendent's likely gone through and thrown the stuff out. So that's what I did. I had about 5 bags that went down there. Some books I had that had blank pages or some pages written on, ripped the blank pages right out, threw the cover and the rest of it in the garbage. I had the wooden sign that said love. I'm not interested in putting another layer of paper on it and doing all those fiddly little cuts, so that went out. I put all the wooden beads that I had left in a container, threw the plastic thing out. So, of course, that was hubby. He has to make his presence known in some way or another. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that I did chuck out. Christmas cards I was keeping to do Christmas stuff with, out it went. So I feel good that I got all that stuff done. I did have a really cute, well, still is cute, little frame from the one. We had found frames in the recycling bin a few years ago from Canada Post, when they were starting to move back to the other building. And I can't remember how many there were, but the last one I have left, I had done with one of the 6x6 scrapbooking papers with roses, and put some cute stuff in the corner. I have shown it. I was going to make it something that I was going to give away, but I've been getting ideas in my head for Halloween, so I'm going to take that apart and make it a Halloween one. Yeah. I think there's a couple of other things that I'm going to make Halloween as well. So that'll be that. So now we're at 8 minutes, so let's see how much of this I can get read. The Deep Waters. Just a reminder, this is about one girl named Tina who has these old people following her around. And then she has the new girl that the old folks had rented a place to, Judy. And Sheila is Tina's friend. The 3 women weirded out by these old people. Anyways, let's go. The car door opened and the woman stepped out. Tina, I think she's coming over. Where is he? I asked. He's still in the car. I don't think he's coming. This is like Bonnie and Clyde. The elderly woman stood leaning on the car door, staring over at the house. I have half a mind to go out there and confront her. Ask her what the hell she's playing at. Tell her I'll phone the police if she doesn't stop. But Sheila wasn't going to do that. That part of her, frightened of the dark, shouted no in her head. This was quite a predicament. We felt like hostages in our own homes. It wasn't because we respected our elders. It was because they looked creepy. We did nothing. All talk and no action. The question was, how long could we play at being friendly before it was too fake? How long before these people would figure it out? I sat with blinds down that evening. I couldn't concentrate on anything. The TV programs played one after the other. I couldn't tell you what happened on any of them. My friend was now a part of this hell. Was there an upside to it? They couldn't watch both of us at the same time. Was there a downside? They couldn't watch us both at the same time. How was I going to handle this? How could I make it end without inviting more problems? I held no answer for either question. Scenario 1. I confront them with my concerns in regards to their showing up unannounced. Scenario 2. I contact the police with my concerns. Scenario 3. I do nothing at all. Scenario 4. There was none. Doing nothing at all left the two of us in the same predicament. Contacting the police could prove a large embarrassment if there was nothing to be worried about. I had to confront them. I didn't tell Sheila about my decision. She was already a part of this because of me. I needed to take care of it. Building the courage was not happening overnight. This required time. In reality, I was terrified to talk to them. As dusk approached through the blinds, I made out the headlights of a car. My stomach was in knots. I wanted to vomit. Not now. I wasn't ready for this. I didn't want to play nice guy. I wanted them to leave. The footsteps up the wooden stairs, the screen door opening with its creak, the knock upon the door. How I wished I could hide. There was no hiding. I greeted them with a warm hello and a hug. Please don't judge, I still have a bit more work to do. They understood it was a lot of work for a single woman. They inquired as to where my friend was. Thinking quickly, I lied. She's had to go home to attend to business there. She'll be back tonight. I felt a huge relief. I took them through the house, watching their heads nod at the areas I pointed out. My nerves had settled, and I was handling things like a pro. It was dumb luck that my phone rang as we entered the kitchen, offering a cup of coffee. Hello? I tried to sound upbeat. Yeah, I said to dead air. I have company over right now. Yes, it's the Hamiltons. Okay, I'll see you later. Sheila hadn't said anything but hello, without coming right out and telling her she knew what to do. Sheila stopped at home to grab some clothes before making her way to my place. I have to admit, the longer they stayed, I felt I was losing control. I was desperate to hear that front door open. The conversation was becoming painful. I was running out of things to say. Well, I don't want to keep you. I'm sure you have things to do this evening. They assured me they had all the time in the world. Being retired was freedom. Oh, brother, how was I going to get rid of them? Just as I believed hope was gone, in through the door she came, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. The old saying goes. Sheila greeted the elderly couple like they were old friends she hadn't seen in years. The look of shock on their faces was worth every cent in my bank account. I relished each second of the discomfort they had. It was shortly after this exuberant greeting they made their exit. Sheila made the excuse of having to use the washroom, so she didn't need to repeat her performance. She watched the couple through the curtains. They seemed agitated by the experience. The woman shook her head at her husband. Sheila noted how quickly her mouth moved. "It's safe to come out," I shouted. She was giving him what for. "Girl, you should have seen her mouth just a-flapping," she laughed. I don't believe they appreciated my greeting either. We watched the car disappear down the driveway. I am sorry I roped you into this again, I apologized. Don't bother. What? That's what friends are for. You'd do the same for me. She was right. 100% I would. And I had back in the day. There were many dates I saved her from. The Hamiltons arrived home to their apartment. I knew that girl would be back. I told you, Mrs. Hamilton curtly said to her husband. This is never going to work. They are just too smart. We should have rented to that young dumb one. Her parents would have paid any price we asked. It was a quiet evening for the Hamiltons, as the missus stewed over the decisions they had made. The days were getting shorter and losing their appeal. Fall was running towards us. I stood gazing out the back window. It really gets dark, Sheila said. We just can't see it in the city. I know there are trees to the north, but I can't see them now. My mind wandered off. They could be anywhere out there. I don't think so. They're too old for that stuff. I'm sure they're too old for whatever it is they're planning. I hate the dark. I used to love seeing the millions of stars in the sky. I took a breath. Now, it terrifies me. Sheila gave me a hug. I think we both let our imaginations go. As a child, I was frightened of the mythical boogeyman. Today, I was frightened by him and his wife. Somehow, we fell into deep sleeps. A sense of safety must have been there. But that darkness surrounding my new home, the fields seemed to fall away to nothing the further I strained to see. The driveway came out from nowhere. The only landscape that seemed real was directly around the house, a few miles circumference in all directions that we could see clearly. In the morning, my fears became reality. There were boot prints made of dirt on the porch. Whoever it was had been looking into the window. Realizing someone could have been that close while we slept was unnerving. You were right. Someone was outside, but I don't believe it was them. There was a hint of apprehension in Sheila's voice. It was a man for sure, I noted, or I'd hate to meet that woman. I attempted to make light of the size. We never noticed her feet before. Maybe we should next time. Being honest, I didn't want there to be a next time. Matter of fact, I didn't want to ever see them again. I wanted the nightmare over with. It had progressed to a point where I wasn't even going to the office. I worked from home 90% of the time. Then, that made me worry as well. I became a sitting duck alone on the farm. There was a no-win situation either way. Sheila had managed to avoid their visits to the office, the receptionist on strict orders not to relay any information to anyone inquiring, especially elderly people. She wondered if they would send someone to politely inquire as to our whereabouts. I tell you, this could have been prime for TV. Each evening after work, Sheila would travel home, pick up her mail, and proceed to the farm. It wasn't so much for me anymore as for herself. Being in the city was no comfort for her. Being surrounded by people only meant she couldn't see them in a crowd. We were still racking our heads as to what these people wanted. It was obvious not just a friendship, but what was the something? Sheila decided to spend time at home. She made a routine to check the street before turning in for the night. She exhaled when all was clear. I, on the other hand, couldn't exhale. In a week, there were dry boot prints on the porch each morning. They appeared always in the same spot. Who did they belong to? And why were they here? What did the house contain that was worth money? Wasn't me, that's for sure. Sheila called Saturday morning. How've things been? Those boot prints keep showing up. Whoever it is looks in the same window every night. I still can't manage what they're looking for. All my money is in this place. I was frustrated. Are you thinking of buying? Are you thinking of selling? You've shelled out a hell of a lot. Oh, wait a minute, that was right. Are you thinking of buying? You've shelled out a hell of a lot of money into that place. Would almost be stupid not to. Valid point that I took seriously. It had crossed my mind the only thing holding me back is unwanted visitors. While having dinner, I thought over the possibility of buying. I needed to push forward, not to be stagnant. The following afternoon, I made a call to the realtor who would handle the rental. Yes, I'm interested in purchasing the property, but I am requesting the rent paid and the money used for renovations be deducted from the price. I have receipts I can scan and email as proof of money spent. The gentleman was cordial. He supplied his email, and moments later I kept to my word. What did I have to lose? Nothing. I'd still rent even if my terms were rejected. It was an anxious few hours waiting for a return call. I kept busy with work from the office. 3 hours later, the expected call came through. My clients agreed to your terms. They were hoping for someone who would respect the property as you have. A lot of people would have torn the old shack down and built a spacious modern home. That isn't my taste. I prefer saving the history of an area rather than destroying it. He informed me of the price. It was more than fair considering the money I had put into it. Paperwork would be ready in the evening to sign. I inquired if the following day would be fine. He said there was no problem. Between excitement and being terrified, I called Sheila. I took the step. It belongs to me. All I need is to sign the paperwork. What happened? Thought you were worried about your visitors, she asked. Now it's mine. I can take steps against that. I felt very positive. Paperwork signed, I happily made my way home. There was no need for a key. I had the locks changed. Sheila surprised me with champagne to celebrate the occasion. I am so glad you took this step. Must feel amazing knowing it's yours. She poured a glass for both of us. It hasn't sunk in yet, I replied. There was a knock on the door. We both knew who it was. Why, hello, I greeted with a huge smile. Come in, you're just in time. Mrs. Hamilton entered ahead of her husband. We've come to congratulate you on your purchase. She moved forward for a hug, which I was averse to oblige. I was confused. The farm, dear, congratulations on the purchase. How did they know? Sheila and I looked at each other. The agent called us last night. We were over the moon you had decided to purchase. After seeing all the work you put into it, you would be crazy to walk away. The property was yours? I asked. Yes, among a couple of others, all investments. Now it made sense. There was the answer to the unannounced visits. I felt relieved. They didn't stay long, which made me happy. Sheila spoke up. I wonder how many other properties they own. Hope they don't own mine. Her statement got me thinking. How many other properties had they hold title to? Being curious, I Googled their last name and properties owned the next day. I was shocked. The Hamiltons own close to half of the homes in our area. I called Sheila and asked her to shoot by after work. Look at them all. Who knew they owned this much? I can't get over it. It would be interesting to mark off the properties on the city map, Sheila suggested. I pulled out an old map and we began marking orange dots. When we were done, Sheila took a pencil and began connecting them. My God, look, she said. Without realizing, she had made a perfect web. The home I rented was directly in the middle. What does this mean? I asked. Nothing. I think we should get our imagination. We should get I don't think we should get our imaginations going. Let's just leave it as coincidence. No one buys houses on purpose to make a web. My thought was, or do they? For the remainder of the evening, I sat staring at the map. Would someone do something like that? Sheila called me in hysterics. I attempted to calm her. Take a breath, girl. Relax. Take it easy. I can't understand you. Tina, you don't understand. Looking over the properties, I realized something. 3 of the girls that have gone missing were on their properties. Took a couple of moments to digest. Are you suggesting they had something to do with it? Maybe. And we'll leave it there. Hopefully, we can get back to this again. Because I seem to be saying that to you and then I'm not getting back. Which I'm sorry for, but it's just been pretty hectic with stuff. Just insane lately. But hopefully I will be able to get back to you tomorrow. And I might be close to finishing it off in reading. I do have some stuff that I'm trying to put together for crafting. Oh, excuse me, because I would like to get back to that, especially with Halloween fast approaching. Already the middle of September, and it's still summer here. Mind you, we had those few days of fall. Leaves are starting to turn, for sure. As usual, some trees before others. Our tree and one across the street are usually the last ones to change, to change their colors around here. But it's just interesting to see how some trees are already turning and others are still hanging on to summer. It's quite cool. But it was a productive day for me. I really am glad that I cut down the daisy here, and I'm glad I see some green coming up. Very happy that I cut all the dead stuff off the other one, clematis. Both of them I plan on putting into the altar, which I will be changing after Savin. And the mint, I think I will be harvesting it and having it dry out here within the the shelving, because I don't want that inside where the cats can get at it. The kitchen pass-through is getting cluttered again too, so don't want that there. So anyhow, some of you I may have read or have told you about the pronounced bony spur on my left ankle. I find when I don't have shoes on, it's not as bad. It still is pretty painful though, with my wearing my shoes at work, but I get through it, definitely. Hubby still has pain with his as well. I don't know what else. That's about it. Boys were over yesterday. I think I already mentioned that. It's good to see them chit-chatting to each other when they're here. They don't spend any time other than when they're here together, but that's fine. At least they're chit-chatting when they're here. That's good. My brother is in Ontario right now. He might be at our sister's. Then they're going to my sister-in-law's sister's place. They're supposed to be seeing my cousin as well, and then going back to our sister's for a bit. They come in here on Thursday night, I think it is. So I'll be seeing them Friday, and then they fly back out to BC on Saturday. So, yeah. So it's nice to family again. We haven't seen each other since 2009 at our dad's funeral. So being so far away from each other and the cost of traveling within Canada is ridiculous. But needless to say, hubby and I, if we're not here, we don't get paid. So unfortunately, we can't get out there. Hubby doesn't like to fly, and I wouldn't want to be experiencing out west without him. I think the only way that we would be able to go is if we took a train to go out there. I would say a bus, but I really take the train. It would be nice to go through the Rockies like my parents and I had planned when we were out there, but then there was a derailment, I believe, so we ended up sleeping in the yard in Vancouver. And then was that in Vancouver? Somehow we got to Calgary, though. And then from there, I think we took a small plane to Medicine Hat, where my brother was at the time. But there were people from England that came to go through the Rockies. And because of that, they couldn't. So, anyways, this is a half an hour. Okay, so thank you for coming by. Much appreciated as always. And again, Tammy, thank you for being so generous. We've both been wearing our new hats. Very much thank you, thank you, thank you. As I said, the cats have already torn apart one of the octopuses. One of them I can't find. I think two of them are in the living room. Crazy, crazy cats. Crazy, crazy. And I didn't work on the witch diamond painting. And it's only after, no, it's after 8 now. Kind of late to start it now. Maybe tomorrow I will, because I would like to start on one of the new ones that you sent me. Okay, that's it for now from a warm evening here in Ottawa. As always, ciao for now.